श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्युपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मतः. So it says Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of God, it said, my, upon me, aveshya, aveshya, fixing, manaha, the mind, ye, those who, mam, me, nitya, always, yukta, engaged, upasate, worship, shraddhaya, with faith, paraya, transcendental, upeta, endowed, they, may, by me, yukta, tama, most perfect in yoga, mataha, are considered. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Purport. In answer to Arjuna's question, Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion is to be considered most perfect in yoga. For one in such Krishna consciousness, there are no material activities. For one in such Krishna consciousness, there are no material activities because everything is done for Krishna. A pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or read books about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. Krishna's answer is very clear. Devotees engaged in his service are better. Srila Prabhupada's purport gives practical examples of Krishna conscious work on the transcendental platform. So Arjuna is happy to hear that but devotional service is superior, but he wonders, what is the attainment of an impersonalist who renouncing work is able to fully worship the unmanifested? So he will explain later. So, so here, uh, Maya Veshya. So upon me fixing, he's saying Aveshya, the mind. This is the essence of Bhakti Yoga. And when Krishna is saying upon me, that that actually indicates me means the personality, the personal form of the Lord, Bhagavan aspect. Because Krishna here is Bhagavan, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. He is Sri Bhagavan who is speaking that you should fix your mind on me. So this is the essence of Krishna consciousness, fixing the mind on Krishna. That means always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. That is the essential instruction of all the instructions given in the scriptures. That is the, if you have to boil down, jot down to just two instructions of all the instructions given in all the scriptures. So the two instructions would be always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And always remember Krishna means what? Chant the holy name of the Lord, read books about Krishna, serve Krishna, see the beautiful deity form of the Lord, worship the deity form of the Lord. So all these are like always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna means those engage in those activities which will make you forgetful of the Lord, like meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, watching some mundane movies, reading some mundane newspapers, about unnecessary topics, which may not be required. So like that, if you engage in certain activities, so in Updeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, a lot of list of activities given. But if you engage in them, then your bhakti get destroyed or spoiled. So that list is given: Atyahara, Prayashascha, Pradalpo, Niyamagraha, Janasangarsha, Lalyamsa, Shakti, Bhakti, Parishati. No, Atyahara, I can show you that verse. If you engage in those activities, then you are uh, spoiling your devotional service. Actually. See this one. It says once devotional service is spoiled, then he becomes too entangled in the following six activities: eating more than necessary, or collecting more funds than required. Then he says over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them, not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, and being greedy for mundane achievement. So these six things that you do, then your bhakti gets spoiled. And next items are talking about six things what you do, so your bhakti gets enhanced. This one, this is Utsahat Nishchadharya Tattat Karma Pravatana Sangatyaga Sattvavittya Sadguru Bhakti Prasiddhati. Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulatory principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Abandoning the association of non-devotees, following in the footsteps of the areas. The six principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. So you can see these are the six items which enhances one's devotional service. So that's why one should be carefully avoiding those six activities by which devotional service will be spoiled, and one should also do these activities. In that, acting according to regulatory principle has already come. That means direct devotional service that has come also. So hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. So that will help you to remember Krishna. And those are other six activities if you do, that will remember you, that will destroy, that will spoil your devotional service. Like that. So basically we were discussing that how, in essence, the devotional service is boils down to the six items. No? The two instructions. The two instructions is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That is the two things. So that's why Maya Veshya, Mano. So engage your mind. So we have to do everything by which, so that our mind can think Krishna, think about Krishna. Sometimes we forget, the essential instruction, the conclusive instruction of all the scriptures. That is to actually fix your mind on Krishna. Maya Veshya Mano Yam. And there's another verse, Maya Sakta Mano Partha, Yogam Yunjan Madashre, Sanshayam Mahabaho, he says. By hearing about me, you can eventually become attached to me. Maya Sakta, you become attached to me, asakta to me. So this is the essence, to become attached to Krishna. And when attached to Krishna, that's how your mind is fixed on Krishna. Or mind fixing Krishna. Man mana bhamad bhakti. Think of me, Krishna is sitting there also. Mai arpita mano buddhi. Different verses. Mai arpita mano buddhi. So you should offer your mind and intelligence unto me. Ma manusmara yuddhacha. Remember me and fight. You can see so many places Krishna is talking about offering your mind to Krishna. So, because the mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. So if you offer your mind to Krishna, then actually you are becoming liberated. You are actually going your destination becomes spiritual world. Because this is through mind we are actually able to surrender to Krishna. So if you surrender to Krishna, that means your mind you give to Krishna. Then your body, senses, everything follows. But mind is something which is very difficult to give to Krishna. Sometimes we may give senses and body, but mind sometimes we don't give. So our mind and heart has to be given to Krishna. Krishna is demanding that. When mind is given to Krishna, then everything we'll do for Krishna only. So here it becomes very clear that personality of Krishna is the highest aspect, Bhagwan aspect, and worshipping the Lord is considered to be most perfect yoga, worshipping the Lord in devotion. So, but eventually he will also explain that those are impersonalists. So their path is very difficult, and they don't attain also that kind of glorious destination as what those devotees who are personalists, attached to form of Krishna, they get. So devotees do all these different activities for the rites. Sometimes pure devotee will chant, reads, hears books about Krishna. Prasadam goes to marketplace to purchase something for Krishna. So he does all those activities in Krishna consciousness, where his mind is engaged in Krishna. So whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. So devotee may be distributing books, but he's thinking of Krishna. I'm distributing books for Krishna. So how it's called practical samadhi. He may not be sitting in one secluded place and meditating on the form of Krishna, but he's actually in practical samadhi because he's thinking of Krishna. How? By doing all these various activities, his mind is with Krishna. That way. So, any reflection anybody has? Anyone wants to share any point?
I think for me, I found the point about doing everything so that the mind is engaged, specifically in Krishna, was very important. And I think, yeah, it's something I can follow to be more intentional in my actions instead of just doing motions, and thinking about other things.
Hmm. Correct. Very correct. Yeah. Anyone else want to share any point?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I think this like reaffirms the idea that that there's both practice and attitude, and if we if we like disregard one of them, then we probably like won't be as good of devotees as we can be. We have to maintain a good attitude as well as we have to maintain the attitude of always being engaged in Krishna, as well as doing our devotional service, our practices. So that just reaffirms that point for me.
Hmm. Yeah. And our attitude is basically, as Abhas was also saying, that we have to also, intentionally perform devotional service. Attitude of pleasing Krishna. So when you're thinking of Krishna, we actually following Krishna's highest instruction, of thinking about Him, offering our love to Him. So the attitude of pleasing the Lord, by thinking of Him, by remembering Him, by serving Him. We ultimately want to please the Lord. Actually, it's very simple and practical. Once one, so Radheshyam Prabhu was my spiritual mentor. So he was once telling me that I was thinking about when he was coming uh, in the train or something. So then I felt so blessed. I think Prabhu was thinking about me. I was thinking about you. And then some services he was discussing, what you're doing and how you can enhance the service. So basically, he was thinking about me, how I'm engaged in Krishna service, and how my services can be enhanced, things like that. So I felt so blessed. So in this world, somebody thinks about you. People say, "Na, yaad karte ho kya mujhe?" They remember me. And then so people actually feel so happy when somebody remembers you in love, remembers you to please you, to serve you. So that's why a devotee of the Lord, if he has that attitude of pleasing Krishna, serving Krishna, and remembering Krishna that way, so that is very nice. That's why Anukulyana Krishna. So remembering Krishna in a favorable attitude, as Arya Prabhu is pointing out. Because Kamsa also was remembering Krishna, but that is not bhakti, because that intention was not to please Krishna. So, but sometimes you may be pleasing Krishna, but you don't have intention to please Krishna. That is also not called bhakti. So, bhakti means there has to be intention to please Krishna, and yeah, so that attitude of pleasing Krishna, intention of pleasing Krishna should be there. Then it becomes pure devotional service. That's why it's Anyabhirasha Sunyam Jnana Karma Denavitam Anukulyena Krishna. So there it is mentioned that we have to have favorable attitude of pleasing Krishna with our devotional service. So we have to know that is pure devotional service. Simply just doing our chores, devotional performances not enough. We have to also endeavor and struggle to put our intentions and attitude to please Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for a wonderful point. Yes, any other point? Anybody want to reflect on?
Hare Krishna, good morning, Prabhu. The basic point for my situation is that I don't think of Krishna all the time because I want something else. And we really believe that something else is going to do it for us.
Yeah, something else is required, something else will help us. Like that, our faith sometimes is, yeah, not that fixed. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Srinivasan, do you want to say any point?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this class. So one thing came to my mind is, as you said, that engaging the mind in Krishna all the time is samadhi, and we have to do things with intentionally, not mechanically or as a chores. And one thing that came to my when you said that point, one thing that came to my mind is, if we don't do it intentionally, this doing everything in this material world, whatever the activity that we do, is like pulling downstream into the ocean of birth and death, actually. Unless we try to swim in the reverse direction, we take an effort to swim in the opposite direction, we will be dragged into this ocean of birth and death. So we need to take that effort. That's the thing that thought came to my mind. So there has to be some effort on our side to do that swimming in the reverse, on the opposite direction, against that force that pulls into the ocean of birth and death.
Correct. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
That's why we need associational devotees, because that helps us. Sometimes it becomes challenging to do this keeping alone. Even if the family members, we come together and do it, it's much more easy. And if possible, also come to associational devotees and have that effort with devotees. It becomes more easy because we get that inspiration, enthusiasm to be able to do it nicely. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
And what Jagami Mata is saying, that how sometimes we have faith in other things. So yeah, it's a process. Gradually we align ourselves more and more with Krishna and develop our faith. And as we keep progressing, then it's not just theory for us that Krishna is all in all for us. It becomes more and more realized knowledge. Then that's how when somebody becomes more and more purified, then his mind is more and more on Krishna. Because he understands he Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Lord is everything. So it's a whole journey actually. But we should just remain steady and consistent in our practice of Krishna consciousness. And this process is glorious. And eventually we'll be able to find ourselves becoming more and more purified, and our mind and intelligence and everything is fixed on Krishna gradually. So this whole process will help us to become attached to Krishna. It will just continue.
Yes.